Is Jake Tatcher. I'm a physical therapist. I'm also a runner and a reviewer for RunRepeat.com. And today we're going to be reviewing the 361 Sensation version 3. This is a stability shoe put out by 361, and if you look online they call it the mild stability workhorse of the 361 line. The shoe has a few important stability mechanisms, and I'll go over them real quick. The first one is it has a rigid heel counter, which kind of keeps your heel in place while you're running. These are important if you roll your ankles and pronate. I really like the heel counter on this shoe. It really helped my ankle feel like it was well controlled and put in place. The midsole on this shoe is a dual density EVA foam called their Quick Foam. It's a proprietary blend of 361. The medial post on this shoe is not very heavy, which means that it gives you a little bit of stability without really pushing your foot over to the edge of your foot. I really liked the amount of stability this shoe had when compared to a Brooks Adrenaline. This shoe had a lot less stability, but it also wore more evenly than my Adrenaline shoes do. Usually with the Adrenaline, I see the shoe start to smash in this area right here on the heel, but this, because it didn't have so much overcorrection, I didn't see any of that smashing happen with this shoe. The third part that is in this shoe is a carbon fiber plate that goes to the midfoot right here. That controls the motion of your foot. It really helps stabilize your foot and provides a nice stable base of support. I found this really useful when I was running over gravel and rocks. It kind of helped me feel like I was on much more stable territory. The negative of that carbon fiber plate is that it makes the shoe feel very, very, very stiff. In fact, when I was running on these, initially the first impression that I had was that I was running on planks. But as time wore on, I actually grew to enjoy that. It really makes you feel very stable. You don't really worry that you're going to roll your ankle. You don't worry about the movement in your foot in these shoes. The outer of this shoe is a nice nylon mesh. It's a pretty standard, classic outer of a shoe. It dries really well, and it breathes really well. The inner lining on this shoe is supposed to conform to your foot a lot better than most normal shoes do. Well, it did and it didn't. It felt normal. It didn't really bring any wow factor into this shoe, but it did enough for me to like it. The tongue on this shoe is supposed to be pressure free. They make a big deal about it. I wouldn't make a big deal about it. It's just like any other shoe. My first impressions on this shoe, when I took them out of the box, if you look at them, they are kind of thin in the forefoot, and that was a bit of an issue for me because I have a wider forefoot and I ordered the 2E size on this shoe, so I was expecting it to be quite a bit wider than this shoe turned out to be. That being said, I was able to eventually stretch it out a little bit, but that first run, oh my goodness, I was really concerned because it was tight, it was cramped, it was hurting my midfoot. It was really hard to run in. There's not a lot of room for natural toe splay in these shoes, but I redid the laces a little bit to make them a little bit wider. I didn't use any strange lacing configurations. I just widened them, and then I just ran the heck out of these shoes and tried to break them in a little bit. And breaking they did. They softened up a little bit and opened up a little bit, and that made it a lot more comfortable. Now let's talk about that other part. Let's talk about the firmness of the midsole in these shoes. It is really, really firm. When you run in these shoes, you're not going to get a nice cloudy feel like you would in a lot of the other competing shoes nowadays. I think these really compete with like the Saucony Guide and the Brooks Adrenaline. Well, those shoes are are foamy and cloudy and they feel like you're running on marshmallows, this shoe feels, once again, like you're running on planks. Some people are going to love that sensation. Some people are going to hate that sensation. So I'd recommend this shoe for a runner that doesn't need a nice, foamy, soft, lovely, cloudy run, that just wants something that's a little bit more stable, that'll be exactly what the website says, a mild stability workhorse. If you want something that's really stable, you might want to look for a full stability shoe or a motion control shoe. You can look at the Brooks line for their Brooks Beast or their Brooks Adrenaline, are both more aggressive correction, and then the Saucony has their Redeemer and their Guide are a little bit more of correction than this shoe would be. But that being said, I really enjoyed the amount of correction this shoe had. It was just right for me. Sometimes I can run in a neutral shoe. Sometimes I like to wear a stability shoe. So if you're like me and you're kind of hovering between the two extremes, then you're going to like this shoe. If you have a wider foot, beware, because this shoe is really tight, especially in the forefoot. Just watch out for that. You'll want to order the extra wide. I wish they would have included a 4E option in this, because I think that would have really corrected the problem that I had, but they don't have that. There's a standard and there is a 2E size in this. Alright, so that's my review for the 361 Sensation version 3. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully, if you're interested, you can take a look at my full review on RunRepeat.com. And thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.